I last year went and did a digital nomad experiment. And you brought up the fact that you have sort of certain places you go to regularly, and you have black t-shirts there. You don't want to do checked in luggage. You just want to get on with a carry on and go to where you're going. My experiment was where I moved every 2 weeks, sometimes even more, as I traveled and worked. I dedicated the mornings typically to the routine of work. In other words, checking my emails, doing proposals, checking with the team. I found it very tiring, and it was a fantastic experiment. Got to see the Dolomites, Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, Lake Como, London, Estonia. It was a fabulous trip, but I found it very tiring. In other words, I was remote working. I was mixing adventure with it. So I'd be interested in your take on that in terms of how you see remote working or remote living and working and traveling, and how do you do it?
So I like to call myself a part-time digital nomad for sure. So I usually spend the winters remote, but I choose a single location. The fast traveling, I think, is really great if you want to get a ton of experiences in very quickly. However, it's quite distracting.
It is.
It's a lot of fun, but it's quite distracting. And I think if you're not the business owner, you're going to end up having a lot of direct conflicts with your direct report inside of your organization. I would say, to me, and this is my personal experience, the way that I do it, we choose one location for approximately 3 months, and we may extend that stay for another month or two, as an example, just to kind of finish off the winter. But we very rarely move from that location. We've actually only done that once, in which the location was horrible. We hated it. I'm not going to tell you which country it was, because I love all countries, but I hated this one, and we needed to get out of there as quickly as humanly possible. But outside of that, it's land in that location, spend a week kind of doing all of the things that you would usually do as a tourist, but during that time, get a long-term rental and get a co-working space. And then just kind of act like a local for 3 months. That's generally the way that I like to do it. And it's called like slow nomading, right? It's just very much just staying in that same environment. And it's effectively, we just did one before the pandemic. I think we stayed in Playa del Carmen in Mexico for the winter. And I stayed at the Selena co-work. We got ourselves a really nice 2-bedroom apartment that we could work out of if we wanted as well, with really good internet. And that was great. It was quite literally like working every single day from my regular work environment, except there was the beach that I could go to whenever I wanted.